Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Sonia, and I am here live from Portland, Oregon. I just left Chicago, and I am here to go to one of my best friend's wedding, which I'm so incredibly excited about. But I wanted to talk a little bit today about ways to kind of check your ego or your intellect, because so often, and I even struggle with this, of where our minds can be so incredibly opinionated and really harsh with us. And in terms of like getting in touch with our intuition, connecting to our spirit, connecting to even ourselves, we need to be able to train our minds so that they can be supportive to us, so they're not working against us. And it's really easy to do. So for example, one of my favorite tools in order to kind of tune in not only to your intuition, but really kind of get out of that place of being really, really critical of yourself is start to notice all of the things that you are fantastic at. What are the things that you know about yourself to be true that you love? We aren't really trained to pay attention to that. Often we really look to the things that we need to do, where we need to do better, or we need to work harder. What are the things we need to improve? Especially in the self-help world, I see this all the time. My sister and I, we call it namaste abuse, of where this idea of where you constantly need to do better and better and better and better. And a lot of times when it's cloaked in this idea of like self-help and spirituality, it can be even more insidious. So a great way to combat that is to really pay attention of like, what are the things that I know about myself to be true that I love? Like, for example, I love that I'm a traveler. I love that I'm an adventurer. I love that I'm enthusiastic. It's something that I've really discovered being an American in Paris is like, I am such an enthusiastic person and I get really excited. And that's something that I love about myself. I love that I can do that. I love that I can celebrate people. And so just even starting to connect there, what are the things that you love about yourself? What are the things that you think are really awesome qualities of yours? Second of all, another big red flag that I talk to my clients about all the time is when the word should appears. If you're hearing the word should a lot, and we do it all the time, I should do this, I should meditate more, I should go for a walk, I should listen to my intuition, I should go traveling. What we're really doing is beating ourselves up. We're basically telling ourselves like, you're not doing a good enough job. You need to do something else. And it really kind of puts our lives in this world of like right and wrong, black and white. And in that space, we don't have an option to kind of connect to our spirit, because in a way it's just a very fancy way of shaming ourselves. And again, let's go back to that like self-help, namaste abuse. So watch how often you say the word should to yourself. And really, if wanting to even shift that should to like, what feels good? Like, what are the things that I genuinely want to do? How am I going to motivate myself from a place of resource instead of a place of telling myself that I'm not doing a good enough job? Because we really get that messaging all the time. I should do this. I need to do better. I need to try harder. And it's okay to be clear on where we need to improve or whatever, but a lot of times shoulds are just masquerading as a way to shame ourselves, and that's not productive, and that really doesn't help at all. Like, it really doesn't. And I hear this all the time with my clients. I should be nicer. That's a good one. Or like, I should, or even sometimes in like being spiritual, they think that they should act one way or another, but in reality, it's not connected to any sort of like authentic part of themselves in which that's actually motivated. And that what happens is it sets up resentment. Then we're resentful of this thing that we think we should do. And in reality, that's not good for me. That's not good for you. Energetically, it does not vibe. Not at all. So connecting back to that place of authenticity so we can make decisions that genuinely support us, that genuinely support our spirit, that generally foster deeper connections, generally foster places of compassion and like giving from a place where it actually feels good instead of should. So I like that. Coming from a place of feeling good instead of should. So that is like my other one. So really watch out for the should. Watch out for the should. Don't should on yourself. Another one, don't should on yourself. And third, another one that I love to use and I just did here was a meditation practice. Our thoughts are just thoughts. They're kind of like cars on a highway. And a lot of times when we get into places where we don't feel good, it's kind of like a dog running after a car. We get so hooked onto this thought and get so believe it to be true. And that's not reality. There's this wonderful woman, Tara Brach, who Sabrina and I absolutely love. She's fantastic. And she says something along the lines, it feels real, but it's not reality. And so if we can start to create a little bit more space where we can watch our thoughts instead of having to so wholeheartedly believe them, what happens is we start to create more space in ourselves. So like, that's just a thought. That's just like something that I'm thinking right now. That's not who I am. That's not, that's not an accurate reflection of what's going on for me right now. It's just a thought. It's just something that's passing through my head. So, and especially, when we're in places where we feel vulnerable, like if we're feeling ungrounded, like I travel all the time. And sometimes when I'm traveling a lot, I can feel super ungrounded. And when I feel ungrounded, it's the perfect breeding ground for me to like feel crazy and for my intellect and my ego to get super loud and tell me all the things that I'm not doing wrong. And then my high intellect is like, that's an accurate reflection of reality. But it's not. Like, it's absolutely not. So even taking just 20 minutes to just connect even to my breath and just even practice watching those cars go by, just like watching them like cars on a road, it helps to give that me more space. And also, with practice, it starts to give you a place where you can decide what it is that you choose to believe. Our thoughts have a lot of power and our subconscious is very malleable. And so the things that we tell ourselves and the things that we believe to be true have that direct effect on us. So that's why it's really important for us to practice keeping our minds and our egos in check and our intellects in check. Another thing that I also like to really tell my clients all the time is to just be gentle with yourself. Just practice being gentle with yourself. A lot of times we're so harsh with ourselves, but a good rule of thumb is would you call your best friend on the phone and say what you're saying to yourself? And if you don't, or wouldn't, then that's a big red flag that you need to pump the brakes, slow down, take a moment, fill your well, and maybe even have some beautiful affirmations like, this is where I love myself. Or even that's a really great place to do a vibe check, a wellness check. Have I slept enough? Have I eaten enough? Do I need some support? Do I need some, words of affirmation from people that I love? Do I need a hug? Do I need to journal? Do I need to do some yoga? Or maybe, do I just need to do something that helps to connect us back to where we are with our natural spirit, our natural, gorgeous, beautiful selves. And, the thing about our intellect and our egos is they're not bad. You're never going to turn off that voice. I think sometimes we feel like if we're going to be spiritual enough, then at some point, then we're going to not have any ego thoughts that then somehow impact or influence us. But that's not true. We're always going to have a little roommate in our head who can be a fucking asshole. Excuse my language, but it's true. Sometimes. So we don't need to evict him. We just need to know what is just who's speaking, who's doing the talking, that our little roommate maybe doesn't have to we don't have to give that roommate all the power as to say that that's reality. And that roommate also, like I said, is trying to help us. Usually it's just trying to be supported, but it has very limited tools on how to do that. And when we can look at it that way, we can approach it with compassion. We can be like, oh, you're really trying your best, but how you're trying to motivate me is fear. And it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid to fail. It's okay to be afraid to be vulnerable. It's okay to have all of those different feelings. And we can actually connect to a space in ourselves where we can hold all of that. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And that we can be super gentle with ourselves. We really and all of it, it's a practice. It's a complete practice. I practice all the time. All the time. Me, my sister, and my mom, where we fall into being critical. We fall into our intellect, into all of it. It's very human. So of just allowing, and when I do, that's where I do like I did. I was meditated today. Just laid on the bed and meditated. It felt great. Call my mom. Call a girlfriend. Pray. praying too is a really beautiful way in which you can give things over and unburden your own worries instead of letting them just like roll around in your head the whole time. Because up there with your roommate, they're going to make a lot of noise and like convince you that it's real when it's not. And you know, the thing of intuition and the thing of being able to connect to our intuition, what it really is deeper listening. And even the fact in just listening, you can't listen when somebody's talking. So when your head is talking and when your head is talking all the time, you can't listen to those deeper impulses and places within yourself. And even of just being able to create some more space by being gentle, by being loving, by being supportive to ourselves, by being confident in who we are, and just even practicing and knowing that like the whole package is so holy and wonderful and beautiful and incredible and just absolutely magnificent, then that's just all of it. So I just wanted to give you a tip from here in Portland, because today my head was doing a lot of loud talking, a lot of loud talking, and I was feeling ungrounded myself. And so those are just some of the ways that I put my head in check. That's how some of the ways that I help to keep my intellect in check, because you know, our intellect and our egos are just other parts of ourselves, and there are other places of where we can practice being love and like compassionate and gentle, because and when as we do that, basically what happens is it helps to tune back ourselves back into our intuition. And yeah, so it's so happy. I'm so excited to see all these wonderful comments. You know, thank you for buying our book, Hippie. Thank you, everybody who joined. Thank you. I love you guys all so much. And also, if you have any questions or anything that we want to just lives on, please send us a message. I feel like it's our absolute pleasure, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm sending you all my love from Portland. Bye. Oh, gotta end it.